When people ask how long I've known her, I usually say, long enough to mess it up once. We met in our 20s, fell fast, married faster. Back then, love felt like fire, all-consuming, a little reckless. We thought passion was enough. We mistook chaos for connection. She loved poetry, black coffee, and fighting for the last word. I loved the way she crinkled her nose when she laughed. We thought that was all we needed. It wasn't. We didn't know how to fight fair, or sit with silence, or ask for what we needed without making it a war. The house was never loud, just cold, like two ghosts living side by side, rehearsing what happiness was supposed to sound like. Until one day, we just stopped pretending. No big explosion, just paperwork. Polite nods. The kind of goodbye where no one slams a door, because the door's been closing for months already. She took the dog. I took the couch. We shared custody of a little boy who didn't understand why I suddenly lived in an apartment with no plants. And that was supposed to be the end of it. But life doesn't always listen. We saw each other at handoffs, school pickups, birthday parties where we stood on opposite ends of the room, smiling for the sake of the people in between us. Then one rainy Tuesday, she forgot his umbrella, so I brought it to her. We stood under that awning like strangers who used to be everything, dripping, awkward, tired, and for a second, a really small, quiet second, we smiled, not out of habit, not out of guilt, but because we remembered. It started with small things, a text about homework, a reminder for the dentist. Then it became, "How have you been sleeping? You still listening to that old jazz album? Do you miss the ramen shop on 8th? Every other Sunday turned into coffee. Coffee turned into conversation. Conversation turned into something neither of us wanted to name. We weren't getting back together, but we weren't apart anymore either. It was like grief with grace, like watching a flower bloom on the branch you thought was dead. One night after our son's school recital, we stood in the parking lot long after the cars were gone. She leaned against her car and said, "I wasn't ready for love back then. Not the kind that stays, not the kind that's boring and beautiful." And I said, "I didn't know how to show up without armor. I thought being strong meant being silent." We didn't touch, didn't cry. We just stood there, still, quietly becoming people we would have liked back then. The next few months were gentle. Dinner once a week, sometimes with our son, sometimes just us. No pressure, no labels, just soft beginnings. We didn't talk about the past much. We didn't need to. It was still there, but quieter. Some people rebuild by tearing everything down. We rebuilt by setting things down. The anger, the blame, the fear. One night, she said, "I don't want the old version of us. I want something we haven't ruined yet. Something we choose on purpose." And I said, "Then let's build it slow. Let's build it real." We never remarried, never moved back in. But every Sunday, I bring her coffee. She still argues about the temperature. I still tease her about her poetry. And sometimes, she crinkles her nose when she laughs. And I remember what love feels like, when it's not trying to be impressive, just honest, earned. Some people say love deserves a second chance. I don't know if that's true. I think what it really deserves is a better first try. And sometimes, the right person is the one you meet twice. Once to break you, and once to help you put the pieces in the right place. Not perfectly, but patiently. The second time around.